So in this video I'm showing you how to block in the colours, and we're going to start with 4 basic colours: red, yellow, white and black. So keeping it simple, I'm applying this nice, I think it's cadmium red, Joe Sandra cadmium red, and okay, I'm using a big brush to apply it in big blocks of areas. I could use a small brush, but you know, it's just easier and more uniform if I use a bigger brush. So just added a bit of water there to make it more fluid, and turning the brush so I can get the edge more fine. So you can see, I call this blocking in, blocking in colour. And the next stage I'll add black to define the shadows and the edges. So you're noticing that I'm not taking the brush to the edge of the fish. I'm just getting it close to the edge, because this brush is probably not the right brush to add details. So I'm going as close to the edge of the fish as possible. I don't really have to go to the edge in any case, because I'm going to add black to the edges. So I'm just getting most of the shape with the big brush, and then later I will go for a smaller brush to cut in the edges, final edges of the fish. Starting off with red, because that's the dominant colour for this fish, and then you add the other three colours. You can subscribe to my channel, that would be great, and we'll go on more painting adventures. So you see I'm using a smaller brush now to cut in the final edges of the fish. It doesn't matter if you can see there I've gone over into the blue, that doesn't matter. You won't notice that anyway, but the main thing is to enjoy the process and not being too precious or too scared to make mistakes. So here we go with the black, just applying black to the edges, and this is to define the shape and to add shadows, because if you can imagine, this fish is swimming along and the sun is hitting it from the other side or behind it, and it's casting a shadow just like any object, a glass or a pot will have a shadow and a light side. So to create a more convincing three-dimensional shape, in this case a fish, it's good to define it with shadows. So yeah, just working out main elements of the fish and where to put the black. So below here will be the fin, and kind of just brushing it on lightly, and to blend it in more softly. You could say this is one of my favourite techniques, which is dry brushing, and that's having very little water or not much paint on your brush. So you can blend colours easily with dry brushing. Just here I'm just cutting in the top of the mouth and under the eye. And now going over with a more darker black in areas. So I started with light black, and now I'm using a thicker version of the black. Thicker version of the black to make it even more defined. Now underneath, so to give the fish a rounded look, I'm starting from the bottom, so the fish is more convincing as a three-dimensional object. Because obviously fish are not flat, they're round shapes. So I'm just using another brush here to blend it in more softly. It's a brush with no paint, so merely just blending in the black into the red, getting a softer look. You don't want hard edges with shadows. Nice and soft. So just thinking about the whole shape, thinking of the bigger picture. So I'm adding some black on the mouth of the fish, and just to define it, make it more convincing. Just adding the paint. Going for a smaller brush now. Smaller brush to add more details. So here we go with the smaller brush. The smaller brush, you don't need a super fine brush, you just need, and you don't need expensive brushes either. These are not expensive brushes, you can buy them at any store, not necessarily an art store. However, don't ever skimp on paints. When you buy paints, they should be artist quality, because the quality of your paints will determine the longevity of your painting. And all artist paints are marked in fine print that they are artist paints. Now this is the gill of the fish. I'm just defining that shape. You could say you're drawing with the brush in a way. So instead of using a pencil, you're drawing with paint. And you noticed that this black is more darker. So I want to define the main areas of the fish and bring it forward. So now the eye. I'm going to kind of visualize where the eye will be, and it's important to get this right. So what I'm doing is painting and imagining how big and the shape of the eye will be in relation to the top eye. So once I'm happy with that, put it in. So here again, just going over again with dark black. And always refining the shape. So the reason I when with black straight after the red is to give me a gauge of more or less going in with lighter colours. And what I mean is giving me a tonal range to work off, where to put the highlights or the lighter colours. Yeah, just again finding that shape. So I'm painting with these brushes too to give it a more painterly effect. I don't want it super slick or smooth. I want to have a painterly effect so you can see the brush marks. I want it to look like proper painting on an airbrush. Just more blending. And just continue with locking in those shapes. Again, here we go with trying to get three-dimensionality to the mouth, so putting the black ink from one side and working out. So it looks like the fish is opening its mouth. I chose red for this. I guess it's the star of the picture is this fish, because for one thing it's the biggest shape, and what I was saying was choosing red because you could say it's the opposite of blue. Blue is a cooler colour, and red is a warmer colour, so the red will dominate and come forward, so that's why I chose red and here I'm adding yellow, warmer colours to make this fish stand out. So that was always kind of planned before you start painting. Plan your colours, plan your shapes beforehand. Continually refining the shape. So yeah, so blue being the colour of water and sky is a cool colour. It's one of my favourite colours. So here I'm going in with basically straight yellow, because I really want this fin to stand out. You can see already your eye goes towards that yellow, but I deliberately painted it thick so it stands out. Yellow is a very intense colour, so you could say it's a highlight. So yeah, just adding more yellow here in 3 or 4 different areas, just to add a highlight. Bring the fish to life. Again, don't be too worried about making mistakes, because part of art is making mistakes, having fun. And here we go, just adding highlights here and there. The fish. And just on the eye as well, just to define that shape. So you can see fish is starting to come to life. And that's the method of building up layers of paint, building up textures, and using these brushes adds texture, brush marks to the painting. So I'm just going with white here on the inside of the mouth, just to add that highlight to define that shape again, to make it more convincing. You can see the way I'm brushing down, it's just blending the colour. The way you hold and use your brush determines the look of the painting. So I just add white highlights, not in too many places, but in certain areas. Again, to make the fish more alive. So we started off with red, then we started with black, the shadows, now these are the highlights. 3 different areas. So if you think of any shape when it's in the sun or in light, it has a shadow side and it has a highlight side, which is lighter. So basically you have different tones or darknesses of colour. So always keep in mind that this fish is a 3-dimensional shape. It's a 3-dimensional shape, so you have to think that it's rounded, it's not flat. And try and give it that look using colour. And again, please subscribe to my channel, and that would be much appreciated. The more likes, the more I can share with you. I'm just keep adding the whites here and there. So please subscribe and by pressing the bell symbol on your screen and to receive my new videos. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you for the next part of this painting.